What's up, everyone? I'm Trey Baird. Let's walk and talk. You ever heard the phrase, it's no walk in the park? Well, today that's exactly what we're doing. We're having a walk in the park. Decided to bring my dogs with me today. Odie and Homer. That's Homer on the outside, that's Odie on the left. And figure we'll stop and get some water. Odie likes to drink the water straight out of the water fountain. Homer likes the water out of the little retractable dog bowl that we got. Pretty cool, it collapses and you can hang it on your belt loop, which is what I always do. I always like to make sure that my dogs stay hydrated when I walk them, and Homer especially likes to drink a lot of water. On a hot day such as today, I figure once around the park, maybe twice if I feel like they're handling it okay. Today's probably just going to be one time because it is pretty hot. I don't want to work them too much, and they don't need nearly the amount of exercise that someone like me does. You know, my goal is almost 13,000 steps a day. The dogs are pretty good with like 4,000 or 5,000, especially when it's hot like this. They can go further than that when it's cooler out in the spring and fall seasons. They love our walks though, and they don't understand, you know, when they can't go. So like on a day like this, I choose to bring them to the park because there's quite a bit of shade. As you can see, the sidewalks don't get unbearably hot for them. And if I take them on a short walk, they're satisfied. Dogs are very much into routine. They like their walks because they get exercise, they get stimuli such as sights, smells, they get to people watch, sometimes they get to bird watch or animal watch, and they just like routine. They like knowing that they can count on their walks with me. And doing things together as a pack is always fun. It's a bonding experience for all of us. We enjoy it. Our regular walks has certainly helped Odie with his anxiety. He doesn't always deal well with people and with other animals. And when you're out walking, aside from burning calories, which is a good thing for dogs and people, he also gets a little more socialized because he gets to see all these people and animals and realizes, hey, it's okay, they're not going to get him. And that's certainly a good lesson to reinforce with my dogs, with anyone's dogs really. On a side note, it always depresses me when I see relics of my childhood go away. For example, this right here obviously used to be Pizza Hut. It got moved to a different location in favor of you know, one of those little outlet places. You know, much smaller place, probably less expensive to maintain, and that's also the trend. Standalone restaurants are becoming fewer and fewer in between. That's not to say that I'm still really a big fan of Pizza Hut, which I'm not. I still like their stuffed crust, but you know, as you get older, your tastes evolve. I'm just not really big on chain restaurants in the first place, although I do like pretty much almost every type of pizza that there is. It's just kind of disheartening to see the world evolve around you and to see life as you knew it as a child basically cease to exist. I mean, I'm only 32 years old, and life as a child nowadays is drastically different than it was in the early 90s. That's certainly the one constant in life is change, for better or for worse. Change is the one constant in life. It always happens, it always will, and those who are truly happy are the ones who accept this. It's part of the reason that I've started becoming less focused on material possessions in my adult years and more focused on building memories and experiences, because you can't take any of the stuff with you anyway when you pass away. The material possessions are just gonna end up in landfills, and they're going to be a burden on those that you leave behind. They have to go through your things. Since you can't take it with you anyway, might as well devote your life to things that are going to go with you as it is. Your memories, your experiences, Of course, you can also leave behind a legacy, and that's ultimately what I hope to do. For example, this video right here. It's entirely plausible that this video will live on after I'm gone. Of course, I'm not gonna cross my fingers and count on that, but it is a possibility. No dogs allowed in park. Luckily, we're not going into the park, we're staying on the outside of it. And as we get closer to the 1 mile marker, I have decided that I am going to take the boys home and continue my walk without them. I think they've had enough for today. So we'll go ahead and get the boys loaded up. Right, come on. And we'll drop the boys off at home and continue our walk, and we'll talk some more. Come on. Come on. And we're back on the road again, walking specifically. Don't get me wrong, I love my dogs, I love the time that I spend with them, I love getting to walk together as a pack, but you know, getting to walk by myself and just having some me time, some quiet time, just to take in the fresh air and the sunlight, that's where I find myself. That's how I stay centered. That's how I stay focused. You know, being an introvert, you gotta have some time to yourself. It's like if you're an extrovert, you gotta be social. Me, you know, I gotta be by myself every once in a while. I have long been a big proponent of walking as exercise. It's just the best thing you can do with your life, in my opinion. It's not even an introverted activity. You can do it with other people and make it a social activity. You know, there's all kinds of walking clubs out there. I mean, the elderly do it at the mall. Why can't more people do it, you know, for themselves? With Pokemon Go becoming a big thing a year ago, it kind of came back into fashion a little bit, and I'm hoping that it enlightened at least a few people as to the benefits of walking. Aside from the obvious exercise and sunshine that you get, you know, you also, if you're an introvert like me, it gives you time to meditate and reflect on things. Me being the artistic type too, I finally made the connection that I had some of my best creativity times in my eras in my life during time periods where I was doing a lot of walking. As a matter of fact, a good majority of the ideas I'm currently implementing and working on were ideas that came to me while walking. I mean, this show itself, Let's Walk and Talk, I asked the universe to deliver me a name for this video blog because I've been working on it without even a name, and then it just came to me shortly after I asked. Let's Walk and Talk. It's that simple. That's all there is to it. You can't really force creativity because I personally believe it's a gift from the divine, from the universe, from God, whatever you want to call it. And that's all it is. You just ask the universe for something that you want or something better. And depending on the relationship you have with the universe, it will deliver either efficiently or eventually, but it always delivers in my experience. In the past, they've called this the muse. I mean, whatever you want to call it. I mean, we all know what it is. We're all either familiar with it or envious that we don't have a relationship with it. And I have noticed over the years that my relationship with it always gets better the more I walk. Love the waterfront homes. I would love to one day be able to live in a place like this. I mean, just to be able to wake up and drink coffee or whatever you're drinking and watch the ducks swim, that just to me speaks highly of relaxation. Lately, over the last several years, I've found that whenever I make plans to travel, they usually involve some sort of body of water. Like, one of our favorite low-cost travel destinations lately has been Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. And I'd always avoided that area because I had an incorrect perception of it. I thought it was going to be more rednecky, hillbilly type area like a lot of Missouri places are in that area. Turns out it's more like a beach town in the Midwest. I mean, I know that, you know, doesn't sound like a big deal, but, you know, unless you've been to the Midwest and been to a few beach towns, you know, you probably don't understand what I'm trying to say. It just has a certain vibe to it. It feels like it's alive. You know, historically, cities had to be on bodies of water like rivers or the ocean in order for them to become bustling ports. This was before the advent of the automobile and then of the interstate. So I think a lot of this energy continues to linger on from towns and cities that happen to be on bodies of water. Seeing as how tomorrow is Independence Day, otherwise known as the 4th of July, I figured I would walk down here to the Veterans Monument. They dedicated this in 2006, I believe. And I just wanted to kind of find a few moments of tranquility here, because this place, aside from being a labor of love, also happens to be elementally serene. You got the rolling hills, so you have earth, you have water, there's a little pond over there, you have wind, which there's not a whole lot of wind at the moment. If only there was some place to have a fire to sit by, this place would be perfect. Alas, not all things in life can be perfect. This is still pretty cool though. Lest we forget, our debt to the heroic men and valiant women in the service of our country can never be repaid. They have earned our undying gratitude. America will never forget their sacrifices. Harry S. Truman, 1945. So I'm not sure exactly when that speech was given. It sounds like it would have been immediately following the World War II. And as I said, this place is certainly a labor of love. Here in the Midwest, we respect our veterans. And not all of us agree with the wars that we fight, why we fight them, and the price we pay for them. It is generally a big taboo to not support the troops out here. And I always support the troops. I may not always support the mission, but I do support the troops. If you're willing to fight for our freedom and lay it all on the line, I support you. I really hardly ever see anyone come to this park except to play Pokemon Go. And the gym is actually somewhat over there, over by the parking lot, so people don't really even have a need to get out of their cars, which is sad, because places like this really do need more attention. I mean, the city puts in the time and the resources to make a nice place like this. I think people should at least be aware of it. They should come down here, spend a little bit of time, just relax and reflect on the price that so many people have paid for our freedom. That's about all I have to say on the subject today. I just kind of wanted to have a moment of serenity here before I walked home. At any rate, catch you guys later. Peace out.